Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for choosing to join me today. In this session, we are going to explore how to use Mote to create a more inclusive learning environment that supports student expression and choice. By leveraging Mote's capabilities, we can help students express themselves more fluently and authentically and provide them choice in how they receive instruction and personalized feedback from their teachers. My hope is that by the end of this session, you will have gained practical strategies and tips for using Mote to create an environment where every student feels heard, supported, and empowered to learn in a style that best fits their needs. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Stacey Roshan. I am the author of Tech with Heart. I was a math teacher for many years, and now I have transitioned to working with teachers and supporting them in leveraging various edtech tools to best support what they're trying to do in the classroom. If you'd like to connect, you can find me on most social media platforms at BuddyXO. And I also have a website, techiemusings.com, where you can find my contact information. And please feel free to follow up with me if there's anything more you would like to discuss even after this session. That definitely comes included with this talk. If you would like to interact with my slides today, you have the option of engaging through the Pear Deck that I have. There, you can type out some thoughts that you have, and you can also ask any questions, and I will be able to reply to you directly because I'll have you sign in, and I will be able to reply to you through that. I just wanted to give some choices, so whatever you prefer, that's what you should do for this session. To open, I wanted to ask a quick little warm up where I allow you some space and time to come up with an intention related to the topic of the session. What are you really hoping to gain? I find that setting an intention helps me gain the most from whatever I'm trying to do. So I just wanted to give you a moment to do that. Whether you choose to engage with the Pear Deck, you can type right there, or you can just write it in your notebook or just think it in your mind. Okay, let's get started. I want to open with a little bit of background by sharing some of my personal story before we get started. I was very much that introverted perfectionist in the classroom. And I'm a processor, and I need time to formulate my response before saying it out loud. So having to raise my hand or being called on in class was really challenging for me and took a toll on me personally. It wasn't that I didn't want to contribute, it was just that I didn't have the right platform. On-the-spot thinking is never where I do my best. I am an analyzer and need time to think through things before speaking them out loud. And that's where I've personally found huge solutions in tech tools. As a teacher, I've been motivated to create a classroom environment that I feel I needed when I was a student, but didn't have. For one, the technology we have readily available to us today just wasn't something I could have even dreamed of having. And while the tools themselves don't do anything magical, the possibilities they create are. Technology has transformed how I can interact with my students and how they can express themselves to me. And that's what I want to share with you today. In this session, we're going to talk about one tool in particular, and that is Mote. Before diving into Mote, I want to anchor this work in lesson design. For me, I'm constantly asking myself, how can we cultivate compassion in our classrooms through the intentional integration of technology into the design of our lessons? Again, it's not about just the tools themselves, but rather why we use them and how we infuse them into our classroom and our classroom culture. If you aren't too familiar with Mote yet, it is an extension that allows you to record using voice anywhere. But it's not just your average voice recorder. Mote provides transcription, translation, customized playback speed controls, and more. It also seamlessly integrates with all things Google Classroom, Docs, Slides, Forms, Sheets, even Gmail, making it so that recording or listening to embedded audio is never more than a click away. Let me show you how to get started. The first step is to set up your Mote account. And I have a link for you here on my slides, which will actually give you access to premium features if you want to use that. It will take you to a page like this. You can press Try Mote for free, and you could sign in with your Google account. There's a web page for Mote where you can do various things, but you also want to make sure that you have the Mote Chrome extension installed so that it works best. You'll want to make sure that you have it installed and your students have it installed. Students will not need to create any specific account, but they do need that Chrome extension to be able to see all the embedded feedback that you will leave them. There are so many things that Mote provides. The first that I want to emphasize is teacher feedback. With voice, we can powerfully communicate with clarity and tone. We can also reuse comments, which makes our process of giving feedback more efficient. We can leave more detailed feedback for students to really run with without it taking up so much of our time. It also creates an opportunity for a feedback loop. If you, for example, leave a comment on a Google Doc through voice with Mote, then students can reply back with any follow-up questions that they might have, and they can choose to record audio or to type. So let me just show you how that works. Say that we're in a Google Doc and I'm giving some feedback to students. Here you can see that I can leave voice feedback right on the side in the comments, and I'm actually going to show you how you can also leave feedback directly in the Google Doc itself as an audio comment. Let me show you how I did that. So if I highlight any text, just like I can leave a normal comment, when you have the Mote Chrome extension installed, you just click to record. And here we go. I can leave some voice feedback for my students. Press the check mark to complete, and then you press comment. As soon as you do that, it processes and it will actually embed the audio right there for students to listen to. They click play, and as you see, they don't need to navigate to another website. They can just listen right here. What's more is that transcription automatically comes in there, and you can, as a teacher, actually edit it if anything is inaccurate, but the transcription works super well. I love that. As we're talking about that opportunity for a feedback loop, students can then follow up with a question. They can type their question if they prefer that, or students can also choose that they prefer to reply with voice, and they have those audio capabilities as well. Let me just show you what this would look like to a viewer. If somebody does not have the Chrome extension installed, then they would have to click on the comment. It wouldn't be embedded. And when they click on that, it would open up the audio. So that's why I said it's ideal if students have the Chrome extension installed, because then everything will be embedded. So now if I look at this doc again with the Chrome extension installed, you can see now everything is embedded just like it was for me as the teacher. So again, the trick is just to make sure everybody has a Chrome extension installed. The other thing you can do is you can embed the voice notes directly in a Google Doc, just like this. How that works is you just select some text, add a hypermote, click record to start, and here we go. Just add your voice, say whatever you need to say, press check to complete, insert, and then it will embed it directly here. That same type of process works on Google Docs. It also works on Google Slides. Even you can embed in Google Forms, which I'm not going to talk a lot about today, but it allows students to record answers and teachers to record instruction. I do want to talk about the second point that I have here, which is student choice. Students can control the playback speed. There is also the transcription, so they can choose to read and or listen. How that works, the transcription happens automatically, so they can read it and listen. If they click on the edit button as they press play, they can change the playback speed. They can actually slow it down, or they can speed it up depending on what they need. As well, translate to other languages if they need that. Now, let's talk about student communication. Students can present asynchronously. If you want to see some examples, I was able to write up an article about how one of the art teachers at my school used Mote for students to be able to present asynchronously. What was amazing about this was that students were able to present their artwork using voice to their classmates, and then their classmates could choose a couple of presentations to engage deeply with, to ask follow-up questions, to give constructive feedback. And it also saved a lot of time in the classroom because this was done asynchronously. So if you have time, definitely I would recommend checking out that article if you're interested. The next piece that I wanted to talk about was that students can actually build group presentations asynchronously better with Mote. So let's go ahead and open up this Google Slides. Say in this example that we want to do peer feedback. So the first step would be that the student makes a presentation, obviously, and then they share their slides so that their classmates could have commenter access. And then the peer reviewer can just hit the comment button on any slide and they'll see the option to leave a voice note, just like happened in Google Docs. So if we go ahead and leave a comment here, it is the same exact process as we saw in Google Docs. In Google Slides, you actually have one more feature here, which allows you to record directly on the Google Slides instead of as a comment. Here is an example of how this feature works. Go ahead and insert it. And then the audio is more or less attached to the slide that you can just press play on. Now, this option does not give transcription, so just know that that's not available there, but you still can adjust the playback speed. Now, when the peer review is done, the original creator of the slides can listen to the feedback and even follow up with any clarifying questions in the comments, and they can do that with either voice or text, just like I demoed in the Google Docs example. So that works for peer feedback. And then, like I was saying, that could also be a great way for students to build presentations asynchronously. Say that they're each working on it from home and they are stuck on a slide as they're creating it. And instead of just commenting like, hey, can you help me with this slide? They can leave a voice comment with a little bit more detail about what they need help building or what they might have a question about. So it's a way for them to communicate asynchronously instead of having to call each other up as they build this presentation, since they might be working at different times. Now, I've demoed a lot of Google things, but it's not just for all things Google. You can use Mote anywhere. So let's go ahead and go over to Canva, and I want to demo how well it works in Canva. I love this integration. So say that I have a newsletter that I want to send home. I want to make it more approachable, friendly, and also provide those translation features for any parents who might need to listen to the newsletter in a different language. So I can do that with Mote. Just click on the Mote Chrome extension, press the button to start recording. Here is my newsletter. In this newsletter, I want to talk about all the great things that we have been doing this month. I can title the Mote if I want to. If I need to edit any of the transcription, I can do that right there, and then just press share. Go ahead and copy the link. All you need to do is copy the link and then go back to Canva and just paste. So I just press Command V to paste. And boom, it's going to actually embed that audio. So I would probably want to clear out some space to leave that, and then parents will be able to press the play button to listen. Here is They can control the playback speed here, slow it down or speed it up. They also can view the transcript and they can adjust the language as needed. So I love that. So you could have a welcome, a newsletter as well. You could use this for a student activity. Say that you want students to be able to practice their spelling. So you want to say the words aloud and they practice their spelling. All you do, go ahead. Bird. For this one, obviously you want to delete the transcription because that would defeat the purpose. Then you would press share, copy that link and paste it in. And then we can just place that recording right next to the bird and you can create a little spelling practice for students. Again, what we're doing here is we're really putting the control in the student's hand, allowing them to practice as many times as they need, allowing them to adjust the playback speed as they need. It could work great for our language learners, for world language classes, and for our early learners. There's so many use cases, and those are just a couple that I wanted to highlight today. Finally, on the Mote website, they have this wonderful learning zone. So you can click on that to get many more examples and some templates to get going with. If you are in the Pear Deck and you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them here. Let me know how you're feeling about everything. If there's anything you want me to follow up on, I will absolutely do that. In closing, I just want to say that I really believe that when we thoughtfully integrate technology into our lesson design, we create more equitable and empowering classrooms for all of our learners. And I hope that some of the ideas that I shared today will resonate with you and help you do just that. A quick shout out to Michael Summers, who is the artist behind the cover of my book and obviously also inspired some of the slide design that I used today. So I just wanted to give credit where credit is due. And if you have any follow-up questions, I've left some space in the Pear Deck for that, or you can follow up with me either on social media or my website, techiemusings.com. The last slide is full of different resources that I've made on Mote. So be sure to check that out if it's helpful. I hope, again, that this session sparked some ideas, and I look forward to seeing what you will create. Bye for now.